Good morning, everyone. We are here today to discuss a fundamental and enduring theory in moral philosophy, Aristotle's virtue ethics. Unlike other ethical theories that focus on the rules we should follow, like don't lie, or the consequences of our actions, Aristotle's approach asks a different, profound question. What does it mean to be a good person? Virtue ethics is a person based ethical framework. Its goal is to determine what is essential to a well functioning or flourishing human person, focusing on the moral character rather than just the actions themselves. Our presentation will cover the core concepts, the goal of a virtuous life, and how we develop character excellence. Aristotle's virtue ethics, a cornerstone of moral philosophy, posits that the key to ethical behavior lies not in following rules or achieving specific outcomes, but in developing virtuous character traits. This approach emphasizes the importance of being a good person, from which moral actions naturally flow. Unlike the other ethical theories that focus on what actions are right, virtue ethics focuses on what makes a person good.
The tools types of virtues. Aristotle divided human excellence or virtue into two main types. A. Intellectual virtues. These refer to the excellence of the mind. They include traits like understanding, reason, and sound judgment. These are necessary because they help a person discern what is good and how to act wisely. B. Moral virtues. These are the traits of character that dispose a person to act well. They are virtues of the will and feeling. Examples include courage, temperance, moderation, justice, and generosity. These are the virtues we primarily cultivate when striving to become a good person. Number 3, the goal, eudaimonia, and self-actualization. Aristotle argues that everything is nature as an end or a purpose telos, where human our ultimate end, our highest good is happiness or flourishing. Aristotle called this eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is not a fleeting feeling of joy. It is the fullness of the person, self-actualization. It's living a life of excellence, realizing your highest potential and functioning well as a human being. Happiness is the ultimate goal. All other things such as health, wealth, or a good reputation are merely means to this final end. Simply put, the moral life, the virtuous life, is to the purest path to achieving true, lasting human flourishing.
The golden mean. Aristotle argued that moral virtue exists as mean between two extremes, deficiency and excess. For example, courage is the mean between cowardice, deficiency, and foolhardiness, excess. Finding the golden mean requires practical wisdom and the ability to assess each situation appropriately. Vice, deficiency, cowardice, stinginess. Virtue, the golden mean. Courage, generosity. Vice, excess. Foolhardiness or recklessness, extravagance. Now I will discuss virtue ethics in other tradition. The focus on character is not exclusive to Aristotle. Many other ethical traditions also prioritize the cultivation of virtue. First, Confucianism emphasizes two primary virtues, gen or ren, meaning humaneness or human-heartedness, and li, meaning propriety or manners. These are central to achieving a harmonious society. Next, Hinduism emphasizes five basic moral virtues: nonviolence, truthfulness, honesty, chastity, and freedom from greed. It also includes virtues related to mental states like calmness and self control. Next, Buddhism. Virtue is cultivated through the Eightfold Path. This path involves both intellectual virtues such as right understanding and right mindfulness, and moral virtues such as right speech, right action, and right livelihood. Christianity. Jesus Christ preached the virtues of love, mercy, and compassion. Christian traditions later highlighted theological virtues like faith, hope, and love, and cardinal virtues like prudence, justice, temperance, and fortitude. Next, Saint Thomas. Being an elective philosopher, integrated into his own philosophy anything that is good conceived by his predecessors like Aristotle, but he enriched their thoughts with his own insight or learning. The attainment of the highest good, which is happiness, includes its diffusion. Bonum diffusivum est. Goodness as goodness necessarily diffuses itself. A person, a person virtuous diffuses itself in a right action. Goodness shows itself like a light that shines before all men. No one is born automatically virtuous. Virtue is a product of deliberate, consistent choice and practice. Virtue is a habit. We become just by doing just acts. We must repeatedly perform good action until they become second nature. Hans Georg Gadamer insight. Gadamer's interpretation of Aristotle defined the human being as homologous or a speaking animal. This emphasizes that the virtue of being human is being speaking, meaningful, civi- civilized, and refined animal. Gutter language is vice. Virtue is beautiful, meaningful, and refined language used rightfully. This means that even the way we speak is a This means that even the way we speak is a reflection of our developed virtues. A classic quote summarizes the necessity of habit. What's your character? It becomes your destiny. Pay It Forward Movie Synopsis. The movie Pay It Forward illustrates virtue ethics through the story of Trevor McKenney, a young boy who initiates a project to change the world through acts of kindness. Trevor's actions demonstrate virtues like compassion, generosity, and courage. While the movie ultimately ends in tragedy, it highlights the potential for virtue to inspire positive change.
Despite its appeal, virtue ethics faces several criticisms. As with any major ethical theory, there are challenges and questions that require further thought. Vagueness. The concept of the golden mean can be vague and difficult to apply in specific situations. If the golden mean is relative to the person and situation, how can we be certain that we are choosing the truly virtuous action and not just a rationalized vice? That's moral certainty. Cultural relativism. What is considered virtuous may vary across cultures, raising questions about the universality of virtue ethics. How do we determine which traits are truly virtuous in all circumstances? Since culture influences which traits are highly valued. Let's say, for example, a warrior society valuing heroic virtues versus a peaceful society valuing generosity. Can we establish a universal set of virtues? Lack of clear guidance. Virtue ethics does not provide specific rules for action, making it challenging to resolve ethical dilemmas. Who is more virtuous? The person for whom the right action comes easily, or the person who struggles against their baser desires, like wanting to run away, but ultimately makes the right courageous choice? This asks about the source of the virtuous choice. Now, to apply virtue ethics, one must first identify virtuous individuals and emulate their behavior. Second, cultivate virtuous habits through consistent practice. Third, strive to find the golden mean in each situation. And lastly, reflect on one's actions and character to identify areas for improvement. Now, here are the key takeaways from this lesson. Ethical behavior stems from virtuous character. Virtue is the golden mean between extremes. Intellectual and moral virtues are essential for a good life. Practice and habituation are crucial for developing virtue, and the goal is eudaimonia, or flourishing.